Yeah, I mean, this is my first interview like this, so
Oh, really? Okay, good,
yeah, I mean,
good.
I got my emotional support toy with me,
Oh,
so
wow. Wow.
yeah, I got Tarantulas. So I was like, you know what, it calms me down, relaxes weirdly.
Fair
So yeah,
play.
so
Fair
yeah,
play. Do you have many others like that?
yeah. I've got this is just one. This is like my most chilled one where I can just get out and she won't bite or anything. But I've got about 10 at the moment, tarantulas, and I got a few spiders as
Wow.
well. So yeah, and lizards. I got all sorts. Sea frogs, like you name it, I've either had it or I've got it. So
That's
yeah,
really cool. That's actually really cool.
yeah.
Fair play. I did
So
not
yeah.
think to win that.
No, yeah, I mean, not a lot of people do, so I don't really talk about it or post about it. I just kind of just leave them. Do you know what I mean?
So obviously you fought in this style of competition before, kind of.
Yes. So
With the SFX, I believe.
they rebranded. So it was SFX before, and I fought someone called Yassine
Yes.
from karate as well. So yeah, so the guy that I'm fighting on this event's from karate as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Yassine had a lot more experience in terms of I don't even know how many MMA fights he's had, but he had like 30 plus MMA fights, I reckon. So
Right.
he was a lot more experienced. It wasn't like just karate, where this guy is pretty much just karate. Um, yeah, I've done a little bit of research on him, and he's done some similar like karate style events like this one, but nothing quite on this level. So
How do you train for it? What if you're a kickboxer, correct? So
yeah,
how do you go about training for this? So, because in my mind, this is very different because you're kind of having to go after like a karate guy. So how what does that do to your training?
well, so for me, it's funny you say that because in my mind it's a little bit the opposite because how the
Okay.
rule sets designed is so that it's a little bit like you have to train a little bit differently for everyone. So everyone's got to adapt. So it's
Yeah,
kind of fair.
of
It's like
course.
this karate guy is going to have to do a lot of adapting for my style, but also for the rule set, and same way I'm going to. So for me, my biggest adaptation is the throws and the takedowns. In terms of just the stand up striking, so if there was no ground game whatsoever, you couldn't take anyone to the ground, no sweeps. I wouldn't have to change anything. Like I could fight how I would
Sure,
normally fight.
sure, 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 sure.
Um, so that for me, that's more what changes it. So that's what I found the hardest in my last fight. So, which is funny because I'm actually going to be sparring with the guy that I fought in the last one. So up
Oh,
next week we'll
really?
sort something out. Yeah, he messaged me. He was like, "We want to get some training." 'Cause he's fighting. I was like, you know what, like. I'm not gonna say no. It'll
Yeah.
improve us both, and I mean, like, his takedowns and throws were amazing. So I want to learn from that and get better at defending that because that was my only problem, to be fair, in the last fight. Um, so yeah, so that's for me is really the only thing because I mean I'm used to fighting a lot of different styles anyway. So coming up from Wacko kickboxing, I started in light continuous. So I don't know if you're too familiar with that.
Not incredibly familiar, to be honest.
So it's very similar to karate. So I'll kind
Okay.
of break it down for you. So I fight under Wacko, which
Yes.
has I believe I could be wrong. I think six, but maybe seven kickboxing disciplines. And
Yeah.
I've fought in them. Have I fought in them all? I've fought in them all except from low kick, but then I've done K1. So then it's kind of like low kicks just K1 without the knees. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like so they got it split between tatami and in the ring spots. So I've recently switched over from the ring spots. So the whole transition and kind of adapting to different fights. I was like, I'm used to that anyway. From coming over from a lighter contact sport and a lot faster to a full contact sport, obviously, where you're trying to hurt each other.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm kind of comfortable with adapting, and yeah, so coming on to the tatami side, you've got points fighting, which is again completely different. So yes, there's a lot of points guys do like continuous, which is what I do. So it's basically points fighting, but just continuous. So there's no stopping. So yeah, I have to adapt because obviously their styles coming from very points heavy are a lot different to the guys that just do continuous and and kick light. So I'm kind of used to that kind of karate style anyway. And guys that I train with, my gym's very points fight heavy, and I train with James Meakin, who's going out to China actually in the
Oh, nice.
what's the games in the I don't know what game it's called. I think it's the might be European Games or it's something like that. But yeah, he's being flown out there to China for 10 days to compete in points fighting. And he came silver in the Europeans and the worlds previously.
Oh,
So yeah, so in terms of getting training in like with that style, you know, it's the training that I get in my gyms more than enough. And so yeah, so in terms of fighting a karate fighter, I'm pretty confident. So
What do you see in your opponent in Gerard? What is there anything that you know of that you can exploit, do you think, or
So I think I can exploit. I mean, it's kind of minor, but I mean, I've been looking at his Instagram and all of that, and I've been watching some of his training montages, and at the end of it, after his circuits and workouts and all of that, he'll finish a workout or a hard workout, whatever, and then he'll be straight on the ground, recovering. But if that's me personally, like no matter how hard I force myself to stand up, because just one, you never know. Like sometimes I might go up to a fight and there's no stool, you can't sit down, you've got to stand up and recover.
sure.
So instead of I might no matter how hard I might want to sit down, I might be dead after that round. Force myself to stand up, so I'm used to it. So I was just looking at that. It's just like, look, like that's just little things like that. Like I don't do because I force myself just to do that little bit of extra. Um, so yeah, and I mean, I've watched one of his. I've not been able to find any of his karate clips, but I managed to find one of his like full contact like karate things. And yeah, there didn't seem to be kind of any threat. I mean, he lost the fight, so but he came out all guns blazing in like the first round, and then he got dropped, and then kind of slowed down. So I just don't see him really being able to deal with just my technique and my power and my pressure. Like I'm used to fighting, the best in the world. So
Yeah.
and so for me, this should kind of be a walk in the park is what I'm expecting. Obviously, I'm not preparing it for it to be like I'm not going in there like, oh yeah, it's going to be a walk in the park. I'm treating him as if I'm fighting, the best in the world. Or I'm fighting for a world title. Like there's, like I do with all my fights. So in my head, every one of my fights coming up is the biggest fight that I've got. So I don't undermine them, but yeah.
Yeah, one thing I really do like about this Total Combat event is the score transparency. I
Yeah,
quite I quite like that, and I know that's a bit of a hot topic within combat sports at the minute.
yeah.
What's your take on that? Do you like the idea of that, or I know some fighters have differing opinions on it, so I just wondered what
What do you mean by that? As in how they scored a fight, or
they're scoring it differently to what I would presume is standard. Um,
because they're scoring it as if like over the whole fight, aren't they?
yeah,
Yeah. So funny enough, you bring that up because that's what I'm used to. So in Wacko kickboxing, it's not done on okay. You win round one, sorry, and then fresh start. Round two, okay, you won. Okay, you run the first two rounds. Now you've won the fight unless you get knocked out. In Wacko kickboxing, in points fighting to like continuous, even in the ring, it's just throughout the fight. So you could I could fight someone, they could win round one and round two, but I could come out on top round three, and I've won the fight. So that's just what I'm used to. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Muay Thai is like that. So that's where it stems from. So Muay Thai is, if I'm
okay,
correct, traditional Muay Thai is scored. And then obviously K1 and kickboxing comes from that. So I guess they just kind of adopted that scoring. And then, so yeah, so because the idea is, again, that Total Combat's for tatami fighters, like taekwondo, kickboxing, and that to have a platform to become professional and to obviously they're welcoming all fighters to K1 and that. But that was kind of the goal for them is instead of having to go to boxing or the MMA, this is your route to go pro, so you don't have to switch sport essentially. So I mean, I think it keeps both fighters fresh on just paying attention, and you can't get too comfortable because you can't go into okay round two, I just don't have to get knocked out and you can dilly dally.
yeah,
No, you still have to fight for it, or yeah, you can run around, but that other person's going to be chasing you. So hopefully as well the oval, like the ring or whatever you want to call it, they call it the oval, is a
yeah.
bit better this time because the last time it was just so slippery.
What's your thoughts on that, actually? Actually, what do you like the concept of it being an oval, or
I do like it. Like it doesn't bother me as such because I mean I've pretty much my whole fighting life I fought on the tatami on the mats. So
sure,
it honestly it just feels like I'm fighting on a mat. It doesn't
right.
feel like I'm in a ring or a cage. But then again, I fought in a cage. I fought in a ring.
Yeah,
I fought in this before. Like it doesn't really the actual shape or the dynamic of it. I like it. I love it. It doesn't bother me. The only thing that did bother me was again they were brand new mats and they were just so slippery. So you couldn't
right.
actually use the oval. You couldn't run on the run around, or you couldn't really use it, or because it was just so slippery. So I don't know if you've ever trained on brand new mats before, but it was just like
Whole different
it was
experience.
not it wasn't all the fighters complaining about it, but I've heard that they're fixing it this time and they're they've learned from the mistakes, which again, that's all you can ask for. It was their first event, and it was a great event. There was lots of great knockouts, which again I think partly comes down to the styles clashing.
Yeah, I was watching. Was it the Killian? Oh, what's his name? Oh, that's annoying me now. Bugger.
I
Yeah,
know the one.
yeah. That knockout was cool.
Yeah, it's funny
Uh,
you bring that one up because that's the guy that got knocked out.
yeah.
That's the switch kick one, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah.
there for that because I was like not long after my fight, and I was just up there chatting with my friends, and we just watched because that's the thing with like knockouts, I guess. Like you just be chatting casually, and it just happens. Like it's
Yeah.
like one of them was like whoa, and everyone. But yeah, no, the guy that got knocked out now is actually my opponent's brother.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I need to watch that fight actually and just see because I'm expecting them to be kind of similar, but yeah, I mean look, it should be a good fight, and I know my opponent hasn't fought anyone like me, and I don't see him like being able to train with anyone like me. Where I'm getting lots of good sparring in. I'm sparring again with the guy that I fought and that, which he's going to be great. I mean, he's going to be better than what I'm expecting my opponent to be. Again, I am expecting him to be extremely hard, and that's not me undermining him. But at the end of the day, train with the best to be the best and be the best. So that's
Yeah.
the way I
Exactly.
look at it. I'd fight for free, like 5, 10 years time when I'm going to be in the UFC. Obviously, I'm gonna be getting paid, but I do that shit for free. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just love it so much. I'll fight for free.
What is your aspirations then?
That is my aspiration. So my end goal is UFC. Yeah, yeah. So I'm at the moment like I'm still focusing on my striking and getting that. But this year my goal is to start. I'm going to start focusing on the ground game, getting the jiu-jitsu in, and within 2 to 3 years, then have my MMA debut. But right now, again, I'm just focusing on getting my striking world class, and then when I'm happy with that is when I think I'll be like, all right, I'm ready. So
That's great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
so yeah,
It's good that you've I'm who am I to say, but it's good that you've got a vision and everything like that.
no, yeah. I mean, I think it helps, because
Oh, of course.
yeah, I mean, everyone's vision is going to be different, but then I feel like some people, might be doing an event like this just to do it. Do you know what I mean? But they haven't got a vision. They're just like, I just want to be a part of it. Where for me, it's more than that. So
Yeah.
so
No, that's
yeah,
mate, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for this interview.
no,
Um,
it's all right. I enjoyed it.